the Sarah. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. You know, on festivals, it's always so much harder to do all of this. So totally really want to appreciate each one of you who's here this morning. I can imagine you having a million things. Honestly speaking, I'm actually all alone at home. Both the boys are in London. Puneet's in Bangalore for golf. So I'm on a festival home alone. I think I'll go off to one of the families upstairs. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. A very happy Dasera to all of you here. And I mean, you know what? This is such an amazing. I was just speaking to my dad about 15 minutes ago, and one of the conversations we were having is that what did I remember of the Sarah as a child? And I remember being in Delhi. We used to go to this uncle's house in GK 2, I think, and there used to be a park in front, and you know, just every year looking at the Ravan burning. Gosh, as a child, it was such a beautiful memory. I'd love to know in the chat box, what is your memory of the Sarah, or how is it that you are celebrating it today? Share something with me. I'd love to read some of those. Yeah. Hina saying new clothes. Preeti Kumari saying I'm in Delhi. Delhi, the Sarah is so much fun. I mean, in Chennai, honestly, they don't have those kind of like burning of the Ravan really. But Delhi, though, we used to have a blast going to these colony parks, if you remember. Lalit, how can I feel like how become like you? How can I feel like you, like how become like you? Whoever we think about most, whoever we energetically get connected to, we tend to become like them. So whenever we are thinking of toxic and negative people all the time in our life, guess what we are doing to our vibration and energy? We are becoming like them. If you can make a list of all the people you admire and think a lot more about them. I remember at one point I used to be only concentrating on Mother Teresa's energy, Oprah's energy, Michelle Obama's energy, because that was the energy I wanted to absorb. And the more I thought of them, the more I started to become like them. So if you truly want to become like anyone, including me, come for every Wednesday Insta Live, post on my posts, comment on my posts, like my posts, become someone who follows with that kind of passion where you start to absorb the energy that I have to give. All transformation is all about the energy. And so who are you spending a lot of time with? I have a couple of teachers that every single morning I watch a video of theirs, I go on their Instagram page and just absorb their energy. And then in the day, whenever I'm stuck, I'll just ask myself, if my teacher was here, what would she or he do? And if I get seriously, like I can really, because you're energetically connected, you will get that answer immediately. That if they were here, this is what they would do. What would Puja do? What would the teacher do? And then copy or emulate the teacher long enough that that energy and your energy synergizes at one point and you become more and more like them. So for all of you here, more than happy to have you here. Just you showing up every Wednesday itself will start to change your perception into you becoming more like the people you admire. Yeah? Awesome. New clothes, dandiya, lots of fun. Thank you, Seema, for sharing that. Indu, meeting people on this day feels so good. How lovely. Shreya, how to keep ourselves positive and energetic in a negative environment? Shreya, for me, any sort of positivity comes from not where I am, but where I'm going. So the most important thing I'd love for you to do is build a world inside your head which is more powerful than the environment that you are in. So currently you may be surrounded by toxic people or negative people, but remember where we are inside is where we will end up going. So if every single day you can think of that beautiful future, that beautiful house, that beautiful environment, that amazing people you are surrounded by. I remember in 2010, 2011, I felt like I wanted a new set of friends. And on my vision board, I put, I want to travel the world first class with a set of new friends where I can really live my life my way. And that year we got into two groups, two organizations that truly kind of made this dream of mine come true. So while in my current reality, I did not have that, I know that because it was such a strong ask or such a strong desire, I managed to attract that into my life. So I'd love for you to now start to build a fabulous future in your head. If every single day you can literally write out what it is that you are experiencing. For example, if you can just write out as if it's 1 year from now. Let's say it's 2023 October, and this Diwali or the next Dussehra, what would you be doing in what would be your environment looking like? What would your reality look like? And don't worry too much about the how. The minute you start writing like ये कैसे हो सकता है, ये तो possible ही नहीं है, अभी तो कोई chance ही नहीं है, you have no idea how God makes the how happen. He's so powerful. He knows exactly what to do in your life to bring that. The only thing you have to do is have a clear ask and then consistently stay in that energy long enough. So for me, I've literally designed my life the last 10 years using this methodology. Please take it today and every single day. If you are not spending 10 minutes of every single day visualizing your future, having clarity on where you want to go, you are doing a big disservice to our intelligence. Remember, in all the creatures, we are the only ones who carry the power of imagination. A dog cannot sit and think about his future. A giraffe cannot sit and think about his future. A lion does not know how to imagine 1 year from now, 5 years from now, where he will be and what kind of a leader he will be to his pack. The only being that can do that is us. So let's start to use our imagination to build a future so beautiful that the current will stop mattering. Because your current environment has been created from your past. And if you've been thinking a lot around how to deal with these toxic people, how to handle the negativity, it doesn't matter whether you are thinking positively or negatively. What matters is who you're thinking about and what's their energy. So even if they're coming to your mind, just bless them, bless them, bless them, and remove them and think about better energies so that you can bring better energies into your life. Yeah? So try that and let me know how it goes. I hope a year from now when you come back from my Insta live, you say, you know, Puja, last year you had said this and look, I'm in this very new environment surrounded by amazing people. Let's put that intention out in the world. Amanpreet is saying even Punjab Dussehra is lovely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, North in general, Dussehra is just lovely. We keep Dussehra dolls theme based. Wow, Namita, that's lovely. Yeah, even here we have something called Golu, and people just really put in an effort to create these gorgeous ladder of dolls, and whenever I get invited for Golu, I get damn excited. This year I haven't gone for any because I was at that health farm, but normally that's one of the things I love doing, dressing up and going to people's houses. Parents ki jalebi. Parents getting jalebi for all the kids. Oh my God, these are the cute, sweet, lovely memories, no? Puja at home with complete family, as Durga Puja is very famous in Kolkata. Oh, of course, absolutely. I mean, you guys are the rock stars of this. I think Navratri, the way it's celebrated in Kolkata and the way it's celebrated in Gujarat, these two states just are too rocking with it. Preeti Kumari, I want to be positive and energetic. How to do that? Preeti, exactly what I just said. All of you here, I want you to start to, from this moment onwards, from this today, Dussehra day to next Dussehra, 10 minutes, I want you to marry your future to your current. You know, Joe Dispenza says this so beautiful. He says, every single day, remember your future. And for most people, remember your future. Puja, when future hasn't happened, how do I remember it? Every day in your mind, you have to remember it in your imagination. And you remember it long enough, it becomes your reality. Yati Jain here, Sheetal Jain's daughter. How do I stop overthinking? Oh, I was waiting for you, Yati. So Yati the other day in one of my courses had come in and asked me this question. And I said, you come to the Insta live and I will answer this. How do I stop overthinking? Very simple, Yati. There are a few things I'd love for you to do. Number one is move into movement or action the minute you know or you realize that you are overthinking. So overthinking is basically our resistance taking over our mind. It becomes very easy. So if you're sitting in a particular position, in a particular way every single day, you will know that there are patterns to overthinking. This triggers your overthinking, this triggers your overthinking, somebody commenting triggers your overthinking. The minute you go into overthinking, I want you to move from your mind into your body. Because you're Sheetal's daughter, so I understand you understand Friday dance movements. So I want you to put on some music and just start dancing. I know this sounds crazy, like Puja, yeah, to block overthinking, I need to start dancing. It's not about dancing, it's about putting your body in movement. Either we can be in our head or in our heart, we can't be together in both. So moving ourselves from head to heart space. Heart space is where we are kinder to ourselves. Head space is where we are always hammering ourselves. So the minute you go into overthinking, I'd love for you to either sit down with pen and paper, write down name of the project that you are overthinking and start writing everything that you need to do towards that. Then put easy, medium, hard in front of each one and start with 1, 2 or 3 easies. So for example, let's say I'm sitting and I'm overthinking about a project or a website or my health, anything like that. So let's say I put Puja's project, health. And then I'll write down everything I want to do. I want to start having Magista water. I want to start doing steam. I want to start doing Jal Neti. I want to start eating better fruits and vegetables. I want to start becoming a vegetarian. I want to start whatever my list of things are that I'd like to do. I list out all of that. In front of each one, I put easy, medium, hard, and I just start with the easies. The faster you move into action, the quicker you can stop your overthinking. Okay, so overthinking is just us procrastinating action. That's what overthinking is. If you can kill overthinking by moving into either movement of body, you know, I remember Jack Canfield had once told us he had hired a coach called Jim Bunch. And he was telling Jim Bunch about his goals, and he said, what I'd love to do is 100 push-ups next year. By next year, same time, I should be able to do 100 push-ups at one go. So Jim Bunch said, okay, do me a favor, put down the phone, do 5 push-ups and call me back. And Jack said, no, you don't understand. You see, right now I'm just explaining to you. I will do it. I will start. He said, no, you're going to put down the phone right now, do your 5 push-ups, come back and speak to me. And while for most people this will seem very awkward or weird, but how many of you already understand the science and psychology behind it? We are very good at planning, very bad at executing. So the day we start to realize that execution is where we need to quickly move into, we need to get the momentum started. That 5 push-ups itself made him do 6 the next day, 7 the following day, 8 and that's what it starts. It starts the cycle of you not overthinking and moving into action. So moving into action, answer number 1. Moving into movement, in case you don't know your action, listing down all that you can do and taking any one and starting off with that. All of this will help you with overthinking. The one thing I don't want you to do is spend time logically trying to explain your overthinking mind why that's not right or why that's not, because you know what, till the time you're in water, the shark can eat you. Get out of water. Till the time you're in your mind, your resistance can control you. Get out of your mind, get into your body. Yes? Fabulous. Image by Design Consultancy saying, loved your podcast on how to become rich. Woo, I love that. For those of you who've not gone and seen it, today is a great day. This is the month of abundance. So if you're planning to attract Lakshmi into your life, don't forget to go watch my podcast on how to become rich. Pallavi Mehta, ma'am, why do I keep coming back to the same behavior though I'm working on myself, but when someone in my environment does something, I end up saying what is right and that makes the person feel bad? Pallavi, you know what? You have to be a lot more patient with yourself, sweetheart, because the first change happens at thought level, the second change happens at the feeling level, the third change only happens at the habit level. So sometimes there may be a gap between knowing what is right to doing what is right. You already now know what is right. Sometimes when we are sitting in the gap of knowing but not doing, we get very frustrated with ourselves. But you know, I remember there was a time in my marriage where I used to say, this holiday, 3 days we are going to Goa, I'm not going to fight with my husband. I'm not going to fight with my husband. I'm going to come back without fighting. And then something would happen on the last day and I would lose my cool. And then I realized that it took me about 1, 2, 3 trips. By the third trip, I remember the trip where we did not fight and I came back and I said, finally, yes, I did it. And can I tell you, over the years now, that is not even a thought I have, that I will not fight on a trip. I mean, where was I in my life that I was thinking those kind of things, right? So that's what we have to build, that muscle of commitment. All of us are not having it right away. We have to build it. It takes time, it takes discipline, it takes determination, it takes perseverance, it takes all of those qualities. So what I want you to know is right now you're sitting in that gap. Don't give up on yourself. Keep trying, keep trying. You are already 90% there. Remember, the last 10% of climbing Mount Everest is the hardest because you're the weakest at that point, but you're the closest also. So don't give up on yourself. Keep trying. Very soon, within next week or next to next week, you're going to come back and say, Puja, I did it. Puja, I managed to keep control over my mouth even though someone else was saying something that I wanted to react or respond or check. But I was able to keep my silence and keep my calm. I was able to let it go. And all of that will happen to you. Okay, so don't worry at all. You are totally on track. This gap is a part that all of us have to overcome. 90% people will quit in this gap because they'll say, I tried, it didn't happen. Did you try long enough? Did you try the diet long enough? Did you try the exercise long enough? Did you try the career long enough? Did you try long enough? Because we give up with the first step of failure. While the truth is success only comes after we cross that gap of failure. So all the very best, my sweetheart. Keep at it. You're very, very close. Amita, can you heal toxic people being toxic using Ho'oponopono? Amita, I believe in my head that a lot of benefit can happen by using Ho'oponopono with toxic people. I don't know whether you can heal the toxic people. You can definitely heal yourself, and the best intention to set is to heal yourself. And in the process, if other people get healed, that's fabulous. So I'd love for you to give it a try, and I think it'll work like magic for you. Jaideep. I always try to think positive, but negative thoughts come first. So how do I overcome negative thoughts? One of the things I think very important to understand is that our mind thinks in negative. Okay, what is the job of our mind? To protect us. So if it doesn't show us the problems or the challenges or the fears that will show up when we start to do anything, then we will not be guided right, because evolution needs to protect us, to keep us alive. So if you had to go out of your cave at some point and there were animals or nature that could have killed you and you did not have any fear, what are the chances of your survival? So remember that our survival depends on our negative thoughts. Once we understand that, we know today we are not in an environment which is going to kill us just by stepping out, right? So we have to see where in our life can we turn the negative thought to positive. So it's not about having only positive thoughts. It's about learning to go from negative to positive. So let's say I decide to start a new program, okay? And as I start that new program, the thought that's coming to me is, what if nobody joins? What if nobody pays? What if people find it expensive? What if, so all of my fears need to come. And as I process those fears, that okay, I'll do this. If nobody comes, I'll go and speak in 3 other forums. If this happens, I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do that. Michael Phelps speaks about this when he won all of those gold medals. He says that there was one of the things that he used to feel is that, what if his glasses break and water fills up? That was one of his fears. And so one of the things he used to do in his practice is that he used to always at one point fill up his glasses with water and count, because he can't see, count till the end of the pool and back end of the pool. So he knew exactly how many strokes and how many breaths it takes him to reach the end of the pool. In the finals of one of his Olympic swimming meets, he actually had a moment where his glasses filled up with water. But you know what? He didn't give up. He got the gold even in that, because he was so pre-prepared. So from today onwards, don't look at your negative thoughts as negative thoughts. Look at it as more like that it is preparation for you to be able to deal with what can happen. Okay, so for me, negative thoughts are just me just analyzing, okay, if this goes wrong, then this is what I'll do. If this goes wrong, this is what I'll do. Being only positive puts you in this positive bubble that when it bursts, you fall like anything. So you don't want to be in any That's almost toxic positivity. When people say nothing goes wrong in my life because I'm always thinking positive, rubbish. If you are alive, you are going to have negative challenges, you're going to have negative problems, you're going to have toxic people, you're living a life, yeah. You're not, like my mom always says, ke, if I have to drive a car alone on the Himalayas, of course anyone can drive. It's all about driving in traffic, no? So when you are in traffic, accidents will also happen, traffic will also happen, other cars will drive in a crazy manner also will happen, and learning to maneuver all of that is about living life correctly. So for all of you here who are thinking that you will ever reach a point where you'll only have positive thoughts, I have bad news. We are never going to reach there. Learning to manage our negative thoughts, not learning to get rid of our negative thoughts, is the game that we are playing. Okay? Ujjwala, can we change someone if they have any mind blockages? Ujjwala, the only people we should try to change are the ones who are willing to and wanting to change. One of the biggest mistakes we've made as the human race is we've decided to fix others without their permission. Can I tell you, as a coach, one of the things I get when people pay me is the permission to transform them. And those who do not give me that permission, I will not give any advice to. Because one of the things that we are doing wrong is that we are thinking that our job is to fix other people. While the truth is we have only one job, which is to improve ourselves. Shift that focus from others onto yourself and look at who you will become. And in the process of who you will become, you will start to see magic happening in your life. Automatically, other people will start to change because your energy will demand a different version of them. So anyone here, and especially if you're talking about mind blockages of someone, yes, we can absolutely help them if they are interested. Make sense? Ruchi Chauhan, your video on relationships was really inspiring. I'm so happy to hear this. For all of you who are not following Success Gyan on their podcast, I'm going to highly recommend you start to do that, because they put amazing content every single, I think twice a week it goes out. So twice a week they're putting out amazing content on YouTube. Do follow Success Gyan on their YouTube podcast channel if you want to see the video version. Otherwise on Spotify if you want to see the podcast version. All right. Amita Avasthi is saying, I am 6 months pregnant and often feel my mood swings, not able to consistently wake up early in the morning. What can I focus on to increase my mindfulness to be in a positive and happy energy most of the time? Amita, give yourself the permission to honor your needs and your body's requirements. You are pregnant. I want you to enjoy your pregnancy. Your body wants to sleep till 10 in the morning. Please sleep. This is your time to literally just honor the demands your body is making. It is not about, your productivity. You are already being productive inside. They say that a pregnant woman is literally using up the energy to create the baby of her literally climbing a mountain. So it's like you're going on a hike every single day. After a hike, how productive do you want to be? So some of us are not even realizing the amount of work the body is having to do when you are pregnant. I'm not saying you need to have a lazy pregnancy. All I'm saying is honor the needs. There will be days when you will feel active, be active. There will be days when you will just feel like resting it out, doing nothing, maybe getting a leg massage. I don't know if in pregnancy they allow leg massages or not, but whatever they do allow, do those kind of things. So resting it out, feeling easy, letting your moods come and pass. Don't resist. Don't try to be happy all the time. Remember, you are going through your most severe hormonal change, right? So trying to be happy, becoming forgetful will be absolutely normal. Trying to be happy is like fighting nature. Why are you fighting nature? Like how we handle our PMS. No, it comes and it goes. Just protect yourself from not being verbal to people at that point. Whenever I'm PMSing, I tell everybody, look, be careful of me today. I can see I want to cry and I will blame you for my crying in case you come in front. So just keep your distance for some time. The same thing I'll tell you, the days when you're feeling like your mood swings are really high, make a list of things that you can do on your own with yourself. instead of, removing it on someone else and then apologizing to someone else. So a lot of what I would say is allow and align. If you can just allow yourself, whatever it is, oh, today I'm in a cranky mood, today I'm in a grumpy mood, oh, today I'm feeling like eating this, today I feel like doing that. I think just honoring your body will be the best gift you can give to yourself. It is a long answer to something that I think, but I hope you got the essence of really trying your level best to enjoy your pregnancy just the way it is. I say this not only about pregnancy, I say this all the time about meditation. Too many of us go in with an agenda that in my meditation I should feel this and I should feel that and I should come out feeling calmer, while a lot of us come out feeling even more agitated because we've gone into so many of those thoughts and we couldn't control the thoughts and we didn't have the best meditation experience. Meditation experience has only one job: just enjoy wherever it takes you. There will be days you will go deep and there will be days where you will just not be able to enter the meditation itself. And both are okay. When you stop judging your meditation and you just start to enjoy whatever shows up, meditation becomes so much easier. I was just watching a video by Osho this morning and he said one of the biggest mistakes we've made is that we started to take meditation very seriously. See if you can take it lightly. See if you can just go to explore and remain curious around what shows up rather than having a preset agenda. I really enjoyed that. Namita, how to design vision board? How do we become clear about what we really want? How do we get that clarity, Didi? Fabulous. So Namita, if you have not been able to see my vision board video, I'm going to ask my team to share the link in my stories today. So I'd love for you to go watch it. Okay, so get access to my vision board video. I'd love for you to watch it because I go into deep 10-step process of how to create your vision board. I'm supremely passionate about creating my vision board normally in the months of October, November, December, because I want to be completely ready and clear on 1st January. I won't sit on 1st January to create my vision board. I will create my vision board much in advance so that I can start to align myself, my environment, the people around me, all towards my new set of goals that I'm creating for next year. So highly recommend that you watch that video. Team Life by Design, if you can make a note and we can share the vision board video in my stories today. Okay? Jagjot Gill, ma'am, can you explain what is telepathic relationship? Jagjot Gill, I or myself don't know exactly what is a telepathic relationship. What I do know is that all of us have a telepathic connection. So people that we are connected with can sense our energy. NASA did this experiment where they put 3 scientists in the space station and then they had 3 scientists on Earth in the NASA station, and what they did was that they, those games you get when you were children where you have a triangle shape, a square and a round, and then they were able to, like, if the person on Earth picked up the round, the person in space was able to say yes, she's picked up the round, and would pick up the round. And that kind of connection is possible because we now understand that brain waves travel thousands of kilometers to attract into our life exactly what we want. I think we don't have enough science to be able to prove it every single time, and science needs the ability to prove it every single time for it to become a fact. But we have enough science to be able to say there is a science that we need to still delve deeper and understand better. So I do believe, like so many times it happens, that we'll pick up the phone and we'll say, oh my God, you have a really long life. I was just thinking about you. What was that? So right now, I don't know if we have the capability of truly using it to our advantage every single time. We know it exists, but I don't know if we are able to tap into it, but it's only a matter of time where very soon we'll understand the entire science of being able to tap into it, which means we'll be able to close our eyes and send messages, connect with people. All of that is where the future is going to go. So I do believe the stronger your vibe, the stronger your aura, the stronger your intuition and gut, the more you've worked on yourself, the more clear your channels will be for those kind of connections. So I don't know if I know enough to be able to speak more on this, but I definitely believe that this is a place where we are all heading towards. So we should start to clean ourselves up by speaking the truth, by remaining honest, by being in our integrity. The more we build ourselves for it, the more we'll be able to use our power to be able to understand the science whenever it does start to show up in a provable manner. All right, let me go right to the bottom and see what are the questions. Dun, 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 dun. Fitness expert _ Simran is saying, how exactly a understanding partner is? That's such a cute question. How exactly is an understanding partner is? Simran, according to me, supporting one another. You know, I was watching Sri Ravi Shankar's one video where he spoke about that if we as partners start to interfere too much into each other's lives, we will start to, instead of going parallelly, we will start to intercross. And whenever we will intercross, guess what's going to happen to our relationship? We're going to go into two different directions. The very important thing about partnership is to be like the two tires of a same car. They never meet and yet they travel to the same destination every time, correct? So I think that following our own purpose, our own passion, living a very complete life on our own, and yet being supportive of the other person and they living their life completely on their own, the more we can complete ourselves and show up in a complete manner for other people, the more for me that partnership is beautiful. So parallel lives where we care for one another, but we are not poking our nose into each other's lives is a balance we have to create. I remember one of my teachers, Larry, spoke about this, that every relationship is like, imagine a line drawn and then you dance on that line. And sometimes a partner pulls you a little bit on this side and you start to, you know, go into their life a lot more. And sometimes you get pulled on the other side. And, you know, trying to keep balance by dancing as much on the line rather than going too much into each other's lives is the best way to operate. One of the biggest things that we did was that the woman decided that her only job was to support and understand her partner without creating her own identity. And at one point, maybe that made sense because she was having 5, 6, 7 children. Where was the time to create her own identity? But the world has changed a lot since. So this whole concept of that the only job we have is to understand and support others, I feel like will leave you feeling very empty and taken for granted. So very important part is to start to prioritize yourself while you allow the other. At one point I remember Puneet used to love going to the gym and I used to say, हाँ बस काम पे जाओ, gym में जाओ, friends के साथ जाओ, मेरे लिए तो time ही नहीं है. So I had become that nagging, complaining wife where anytime he spoke about any of his passions and I were enemies. Till I realized that till the time I don't learn to support his passions, till the time he doesn't operate from a happy place, if he's happy, he will give me happiness. If I take away his happiness and keep begging him to give attention to me, even if he gives that attention, it's only going to be in reverse. What I'm putting in the relationship, if I'm putting nagging, complaining, blaming, negativity, he's going to bring the same on the table. We think that one of us should break that vicious cycle. Guess what? It always has to be us. It cannot be them, correct? So I think learning to just create a relationship where each person supports, like, you know, when I was supposed to go to the health farm about 2 weeks ago, I had a really bad cold allergy attack and the health farm was nowhere in the picture. So when my friend messaged me that, you know, would you like to come along? The first thing I did was I called up Puneet and I was like, should I go? And he said, Puja, you really need it, just go. His support, his understanding of that kind meant so much to me because I was like, how randomly I'm just getting up and going in the middle of a work week. But he realized that, you know what, she needs that reconfirmation. So to me, an understanding partner is someone who can help you make the right decision by giving you that reconfirmation that we all need. Most of the time, what our partner lands up doing is telling us what can go wrong. I think a partner's job is to also show us what can go right if you're willing to have the courage to take those decisions. So a lot of times we get scared for our partners and we think, oh, it's our job to warn us. The whole world is busy warning us. I believe on the contrary, the more we can support each other in taking those big risks, in doing things that most people will find scary to do, and to have that knowingness that someone's watching your back, to me, that is beautiful partnership. So I don't know exactly what your question was, or was it in reference to this, but I enjoyed answering it. Tunes of the road. Hi Puja, I really appreciate and admire your work. I'll be grateful if you can give me some wisdom on getting married. I came from a toxic past multiple times and now I'm not able to open my heart for anyone. Tunes of the road, one of the things I will definitely say to you is that, you know what, when we have had a pattern of attracting the wrong people, there's definitely fear whenever we are going into the new relationship. I believe in my head that what brings us excitement versus what brings us stability a lot of times is two different things. And whenever we are going in for a relationship, most of the time we are judging chemistry, we are judging excitement, we are judging how this person is making us feel, we are judging how they look, we are judging. When we have those as our parameters, we tend to look for very short-term, high intensity, high excitement relationships. But when marriage is supposed to be considered, I would love for you to start to re-look at what are your parameters. Because the kind of parameters that we need in a marriage are different from what we look for in a relationship. More stability, more maturity, not that, you know, oh, but he doesn't bring me gifts, but he doesn't keeps me excited, and he doesn't do this for me, and he doesn't do that for me, and he's not able to. I'm not saying they shouldn't be there, but I definitely believe that, like, for me, in my personal relationship, I think Puneet makes an excellent husband, but my guess is he would be a very average boyfriend. And why I believe that is because I think that he is somebody who's so mature, so constant. His emotional stability is so strong that neither does he get high on a high, nor does he fall when there's a low. So he's the kind of person who can hold space for you. Now, a person who can hold space for you is definitely not someone who's going to take you to the roof for the exciting things, right? So I think re-looking and re-examining your parameters to change, you know, what are the kind of men you've been attracting. And start to look at what is the kind of man you actually want by looking at what are your real value systems. You know, I have clients till today who are looking for a boyfriend in their marriage. Unfortunately, the boyfriend as a fiance works, but the minute it turns into marriage, it all turns. Either the man changes or the things that he's doing don't remain relevant because the bigger things of life start to happen. So I think being able to deduce, if you're asking me for wisdom on getting married, I'm going to say create a set of parameters that normally in arranged marriages our parents used to check. We are right now in the world where we have the hugest advantage, where we can look at what would be if my daughter had to marry this man, would I be okay with her marrying this man? That can be a set of how you can look at your marriage prospects. And another can be, how does he make me feel? And if you can marry the chemistry to the stability, I feel like that marriage is what really makes someone feel complete. Yeah, I hope you're able to take away something from this. Shweta Mulchandani, ma'am, someone close to me is not happening in marriage but not able to take decision. I'm gonna guess the happening is actually not happy in marriage but not able to take decision. Shweta, one of the things we have to understand is that everybody has a different bandwidth of how much bad needs to happen before they leave. For some people, they can tolerate only one slap, and after which they go, no, I'm not willing to be physically beaten. This is totally unacceptable, and they leave right away. For some people, but he hits me only once in 3 months, yeah, it's okay. You know, sometimes he just gets angry. He's also had a bad day. If I won't understand, who'll understand? That could be the attitude. For some people, it could be years of abuse before they realize that, you know what, their life is at risk, or their children, they will not tolerate it. For themselves, they tolerate it. Everybody has their own bandwidth, and we are no one to judge whose bandwidth is right and whose is wrong. Each one of us, depending on our level of self-esteem, economic status, the kind of backing we have from our parents' house, all of that matters. Or sometimes just the fear of being abandoned or the fear of change itself doesn't let us make that decision. So my suggestion is hold space for this person for as long as they need it, till they are ready to leave. A lot of times we feel like we can so clearly see she deserves better, but you know what, that's not our decision to make. It is her decision to make, and you as a friend or as a relative or whatever your relationship with this person is, your job is to hold space till they are ready. I'm not saying you can't give them advice, but more than advice, what they need is support. So give more support, care, concern than advice. Jaikar Pradhanya, Saubana, how was your experience of the retreat? Jaikar, I have been going for these health farms for a while now. So it's been something that I totally resonate with. For me, giving my body priority is not something that comes naturally to me. It's something I have to put in an effort for. There are things that come naturally. Like for example, for me to give my mental health priority comes very easily to me. Reading good books, watching good videos, living an inspired life, easy. Looking after my health, looking after my body, exercising, drinking enough water, making sure I'm only eating healthy does not come naturally to me. So I feel like in going to these health farms, what I land up doing is I land up outsourcing what doesn't come naturally to me to someone else who's really good at it. So for me, it is all about delegation, and so I absolutely love, I've made up my mind every 90 to 120 days, I'm going to go to some health farm and reset my value system around this for a week, come back, it lasts about 60 to 90 days, and then I start to deteriorate again back in whichever form, and then I'll go again. So I'm not going to make this about self-criticism of why am I not able to do it, why I'm not able to, because I have a husband who is too good at health. So I always keep comparing and feeling bad. Now I've decided I'm not going to compare. Just the way he can't read a book, I can't remember to drink water. And both of us are equal in our own ways. His values is health, my values is mental health, right? So we are different, and just the way he outsources all of his mental stuff to me and he says, read the book and give me the summary, the same way I'm going to outsource myself to this health farm. So I loved the experience. All these health farms are extremely scientific. They have some fabulous doctors, beautiful treatments that, I mean, I don't know if you can see the glow, but I mean, here right now I'm using a filter so you can't really see, but every single person I've been meeting in the last 3 days since I've come back is like, Puja, you're looking different. Puja, something about you is looking different. So I know that, you know, when you clean your insides, it shows in your speech, it shows in your face, it shows. So I'm a big believer of it. And if you are a part of my tribe and it's something you'd like to explore, highly, highly recommend it. Currently, right now, just having come back, my mother is in a health farm in Delhi. I can't remember the name, but she's about half an hour from Delhi where she's gone for a week, and I'm so proud that, you know, she's also landed up doing it. She's actually the original health farm person of my life, because she was the one who introduced all of us to Jindal back in the 1990s. I think she had started to go. So just absolutely very excited that all of us are getting back to realizing that health is absolutely very, 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 very important, and, you know, prioritizing that has been a bliss. I went to one in June, loved it. I went to one now last week, loved it. So if you're looking at going to one, PEMA is definitely something I'd like you to consider, because it's one of the best that I've experienced. Okay, we are already at 10:47. Let me very quickly read all of our winners. I know we were supposed to meet on 30th of September, but now I have shifted the date to somewhere in October. The problem that we're having in October is, like, today I have a fully free day, but it's a festival. And there are so many festivals, like next Wednesday is Karwa Chauth, and then there is Diwali coming up, and then there's Dhanteras coming up, and there's just so many festivals that the days that I'm actually free are all festivals, unfortunately. And I don't want to call you on a festival leaving your stuff and coming and attending my session. So mostly what I'm going to do is just the week after Diwali, I will try to prioritize and meet all of you. So a small apology for the delay, but I'll make sure that I make it very, very worth it that you've had to wait a month extra than what I had said. Let me quickly open the chat where I have all the names of all of you who did last week's challenge. Now remember that because of this reason, you have these few extra weeks, so continue doing the challenge. And in case you did not have your name in the list of what I'm going to cover something very beautiful, something that I've never done before with anyone. So just know this, that I'm going to make it super duper special. So if you've not been clicking my picture, writing your takeaways and tagging me, I would recommend start from today itself and show up in those sessions, because that session is going to be mind-blowing. What else I may land up giving you, you have no idea. I love surprising, and I love, you know that you are special if you are belonging to my InstaFam family, InstaFam group. So please know that I will never let my family down. So just get ready. If you haven't been doing it today, take a picture. Make sure all you need to do is just put it in your stories with just what were your 1, 2 or 3 takeaways and tag me. It's not so difficult. You can totally do it. Try it. I challenge you. And make sure you show up for my session. I think it's going to mostly be on Thursday, which is I think 27th of October. So the people who participated this week were Anjali Divedi, Aditi Ashish Kumar, Bhargavi Arjun, Vivek Vasanta, Nature is the Ultimate Power, Innovative Tarot Trupti, Mohan Mika's Bakes, Life Coach Kaveri Shubham, Shamanjeet Mindset NLP, Tejal Toshi, Shilpa Dadej, Nisha Rathore, Sakina Sheikh, Gauri 1811, Divya Vijay Life Coach, Tango Manisha, Priyanka Patil 01, Sparkling Soul Heals, Nisa QR, Deepshika Thapara Ahuja. I think I didn't pronounce that right, but you know who you are. Tulsi Mala 18, Anita Gupta Official, Ujwala Madhvi 15, Ruchi Chauhan 81, Mamta Mehta 11, Sneha SJSD Snehkated, Dr. Raman Patiala, Image by Design Consultancy, Reset with Rakhi Official, and artist Puja QnA. Super duper congratulations. Thank you for taking the effort, all 30 of you. Thank you so much. Winners this week of the people who have won the book, Unlocking the Golden Cage, are @the Life School, Hina Karishma _Krishnani, and Itisha Srivastava. All 3 of you, massive congratulations for being the winners this week, and a very happy Dussehra. You are going to receive my book, Unlocking the Golden Cage, sometime this week. We will be in touch with you, not to worry. I can see she sent me an updated list also, which means I missed someone's name. Did I? If I miss your name, just tell me in the chat box and we'll make sure that we'll get you added. All right. Now time to pose very quickly. If you can just take a picture. Let me set up my camera, my mug. Yes? Nisa, your name is announced every week. You are such a consistent person. I love that. For those of you who landed up building your consistency because of this, that's just fabulous. Now I should stop talking and start smiling. Otherwise, you'll put pictures with my mouth open. I know. Got it? Oh, thank you, Pasna. Thank you, Hina. Love you, my little sweetheart. Gargi Arya, we all love you, my Jan. Fabulous. Here, what other pose do you want? Do you want this one? Oh, love your dress. I actually don't do much ordering online, and this is one of those pieces that came while I was at PEMA. It's called Sin Sin. Sin Sin was some company's name, and it just showed up on my Instagram, and I liked this dress, and I was like, okay, let's order and see, do these Instagram dresses even look the same when you order them, or are they different on the model and different when they come home? But I was happy that it looked exactly like the kind I thought it looked. So it was nice to order it. So Sin Sin, you can look up Sin Sin, and in case you want to pick up this dress. Oh, Jagannath, did we miss your name? Not to worry, I'll make sure it gets added. How many of you here shop online? Are you good at shopping online? My sister-in-laws are so good at shopping online. It's something that I haven't been able to do. I feel like I need to try on. While they really know their sizes and they know in which brand what their sizes are, which I love. I'm like, okay, this is something I want to work with. Ring. Oh, thank you. My friend was wearing this ring that she had picked up from Lisbon, I think. I can't remember now where she picked it up from, but I think it was Lisbon, and I told her I love the amethyst, and she was like, I'll get you one. So it's almost like 10 years old, but I still love it. Standing pose and all I'm not giving you. This much area will come instead of this. Sitting mein bata do. Urbanic India. Is that a good brand? Nice. I'm an online freak. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, some people have become really good at ordering online. I just feel like I need to move into that bandwagon. Winner pose. Okay. You want winner pose? Woohoo! All right. One last question before I go, and then let's release you. It's a lovely festival season. Let me see if I can. Do you like this last 10 minutes of just talking rather than answering questions? I sometimes feel like I miss all of your comments in the process of all the time answering questions. So this is so much fun, like when I'm following you guys and just reading everything, and Oh, your face is covered with what we write, so please share your upper body. Yeah, I know. Okay, this is better. Now. Yeah, love it. Okay, one last question. Let's try Surekha Nayapati saying, hi Puja, can you share how we can categorize our goals as personal, professional or social? Honestly, how I categorize my goals is more in spheres of life. So I like to categorize my goals as health, wealth, relationships, hobbies or growth, charity, I'm wondering which one I'm missing. Career, of course, career. So wealth and career, I separate it out. Wealth is the money I want to keep, maintain, and what I want to do with it, invest. Career is where I want to go, building my team, building my brand, all of that. So health, wealth, career, 6. Normally I have these 6 areas that I like to work with. Health, wealth, relationships, career, hobbies, happiness, whatever you want to call it, growth, all of that comes in that, and then charity. So see if you can also categorize it in that manner. I find that easier to do. Now anything on top you want to add to it, why not? If you want to add a separate column, like for me, I add a separate column around travel because that's a huge part of my life and I like to travel ever so often. So I feel like that needs a separate, photographs and separate everything, a budget, separate everything. So I like to put that as a separate thing rather than including it into my happiness or in my growth. So you look at your spheres. Personal, professional, social also work. So the only thing you want to make sure is that you have enough categories so that you have enough clarity in every sphere. Sometimes we jumble things up. So in relationships, you can further categorize as in spouse, children, parents, siblings, friends, acquaintances, networking. All of that can come in relationships, right? So you can then look at how you can, so the more clarity you have on every single thing, the better. And then don't go for more than 10 goals at a time. So you should at all points know your top 10, and the rest all will become supporting goals to those 10. Okay? Again, if you watch the vision board video, which I'm going to be sharing in my story, you'll get a lot more clarity on how to set goals for your vision board. Okay? Surekha, so sorry I misspelled your name. Surekha, people do it all the time. Don't worry, I have no such attachment to the spelling of my name. My name was changed because of numerology. My name used to be Bahar till 5th grade. My name was Bahar Kapoor. My brother's name was Sawan Kapoor. We were both seasons. And then at some point, one numerologist came over and he told my mother that, you know what, she'll die of a car accident in the next 3 months if you don't change her name. Mom got damn fearful and my options were Sharda and Puja. So I just chose Puja, and he said, no, you can't even spell it with a double O. You have to spell it with a U. Do I believe in all of this? Yes and no. To a certain extent, yes. But who's interpreting the science is also very, very important. I do believe there's a science, but I feel like a lot of scams have come in, or a lot of fear-building people have come in into using the science to their advantage. So I have a little bit of a block around the people who are interpreting. So I need to really make sure I'm able to believe, trust with my faith and surrender on them. All right. Time to go. Thank you so much for coming. Very, very happy this Sarah, and I'll see you next week. Next week is Karwa Chauth on Wednesday. So I'm going to see what time I'm able to show up. So the timing may differ from my usual 10 to 11 or my usual 4 to 5. Please make sure that on Tuesday you've checked my stories to see what time I'll be doing my Insta Live. All right, everybody, thank you for coming. Loads of love. Bye.